you guys to remember. So where it's got the 2 stars, make sure to do some reverse. So as long as when you go in, do a reverse. So what that means, that it tie a knot, so it's actually lock down the stitches. So when for long, don't start your stitching there. You can start your, put your needles roughly around there and do your reverse. So that will prevent break needles or broken threads. Okay, so you can actually start roughly around there. And so what happens is when you start stitching, you come down. So this is where you need to pivot and turn and come straight all the way. So until you get to the finish point. Right, so we're going to start to stitch this together. So just a quick tip, like I say, if you make sure you hold your, there's 2 ends of cottons coming out, one from the bobbin, one from the top. If you hold on to that, turn your dial, drop the needles. So you start, rather than right at the edge, you start kind of a cm in, so about a ½ an inch inside. And once you've done that, you can start doing 1 or 2 stitches and then do the reverse and go back. And after that, follow the line. So if you're not sure how to hit that, you can always turn your dial. And this is what is called pivot. So make sure your needles are down, lift your foot up and turn. So, and what I tend to do is, if you actually use the edge of your foot, so this is, there's an edge here, so use that as your guide, and that's usually is a good 1/4 inch seam allowance for you. So So we come to the other mark, so you keep going, so until you get to right at the end and do a reverse. Okay, so for most of you, you will think this is now you start pulling out. What we're going to do is we're going to do a chain stitch here as well. What I meant is you get your other piece, so that's where my mark's going to be. I'm actually going to put it in. I'm going to keep going. So guys, I'm on my last one. I make 8 in total. So this is my 8th. So what chain stitch allow me to do is, now this is the only time I actually cut up my thread, so 8 pieces after. So what you tend to do is make sure you snip your thread as near as possible to where you, so you don't have to go back to cut your end. So what I'm end up is a continuous chain of material like this. So if you overrun slightly, don't worry, just move your stitch, move it down where you need to put it. And it's typical of me, so this is what I will want to warn you guys. Once you start making a lot, so this will happen, always check your bobbin before you go any further, because this is a very typical case. So I'm halfway through, can you see I've got a loop there? Simple reason, I'm out of bobbins. So if I continue making it, obviously I will realize, oh no! So I will show you how to change your bobbin. I'll come back to it. So if the bobbin happen to be empty during production, don't worry about it. So all you have to do is go in, change your bobbin, go back about centimeters, ½ an inch, and repeat the same thing. So you go and do reverse and just keep going.